What's up, guys? It's your boy Zawoki back at it with another Chris Watts video, and today's video is from the part 1 part 2 from JCS Criminal Psychology that we watched a couple weeks back, but we finally got the third piece. He mentioned that in an email, which I have permission to watch, react, and use this, but also make sure you guys go over to JCS Criminal Psychology. Link will be down in the description. Go over there to subscribe, comment, like, and share to his channel. But this is the case of the Chris Watts. This is pretty much during and after his polygraph test and so forth, which I want to watch the polygraph from start to finish, but I want to do it for you guys live. I've always gotten bits and pieces. I've never actually watched the polygraph from start to finish. So let me know if you guys would like to see that video or live. And then make sure you guys, like I said before, go over to JCS and subscribe, comment, like, and share. Give the creator his dues, and obviously give him the credit for the video. And then don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it so when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification that I posted that video, and then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And again, thank you all so much for the love and support that you guys show on my channel. We're right around the corner of hitting 67,000 subscribers. Never what I thought to see the day, but this channel only exists because of you guys and your fantastic community that we've built together, and I'm glad you're here. So without further ado, let's get into that video right now. Oh, that clock.
I didn't lie to you on that polygraph, I promise. Chris, I know. Stop. It's time. Just stop.
Man, that right there, that just sums it up right there.
Just stop for a minute. Take a deep breath. I want you to take a deep breath right now.
Just think how he is thinking right now. Just like, think about it.
Your stomach, and when people hold stuff inside, it makes you physically ill. And I can just tell on your face, I could tell from the second you walked in that you were wanting to just come clean and just be done with this.
This is a technique known as social exchange, an interpersonal persuasion strategy in which the interrogator provides the suspect with a psychological reward in return for the information they need. In this case, she's trying to convince Chris that the alleviation of mental weight is a worthy trade for a confession. She does this in a manner that protects his self-esteem by giving him appreciative reinforcements.
And I appreciate that because you knew sitting down in that chair that you weren't going to pass today. And you knew I was going to find out because I told you that. And then you continued to stay knowing that you could, at the end, say, you know what? I just need to get this off my chest.
Everything that I've told you, I did not lie on this polygraph.
And again, to fail a polygraph or this polygraph, you have to have a -4 for it to be completely lies. Or to make the lie valid. He had a -18. He's really good at lying and being caught.
I don't know how much I could tell you right now. Like, I did not.
It's not even an option right now because you did not pass the polygraph. So I know you were being deceptive. So that's not even an issue right now. The issue right now is what happened to Shanann, Bella, and Celeste.
The following tactic is called the futility technique, a building block to induce a sense in a suspect that any resistance on behalf of their cause is futile due to the overwhelming evidence against them. This was obviously not the case, as polygraphs are not admissible evidence, and Chris was in fact still free to leave at this point.
That's the issue right now.
That's insane. That he's technically still able to leave. Like, he could have walked out of there and got a lawyer and did all that, but he dumb in the head.
Great.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I know you want to tell us. I can see it in your face. Holding this lie in is going to do nothing for you.
I know this. Like, okay. I'm not like trying to like cover things up. Like,
yeah, but you kind of are because. And it's normal.
This is no longer an interview to collect information. The steps of asking questions and receiving answers is over, and the interrogators are now in the process of leading the suspect into a state of mental exhaustion. The detectives will attentively watch for denials and stop them before they can be voiced. Letting the suspect deny his guilt will only increase his confidence and prolong his cerebral stamina.
Normal people would do that. Normal people that make a mistake initially are gonna go, I don't know what you're talking about, I didn't do anything. That's normal. I would expect that. That's a natural reaction that someone's gonna initially lie about something like that and then eventually tell the truth. So this is your eventually telling the truth time.
Just think if he said, I don't want to talk anymore. I want my lawyer. Like, it would have gone so different. He probably would still be in prison, but it would have went different into the fact that they would have possibly 100% looked into NK in a trial amongst his peers.
This is where the rubber meets the road, Chris. Like, don't let this continue any longer, please.
I'm not trying to make anything continue. Like, I want them back home, like.
Nah.
But you know they're not coming back home. You know that.
I don't know in the back of my head. I hope they come back home.
But you know they're not.
Chris, Tammy and I are confused, okay? And here's what we're confused about. I told you that we've done some work overnight.
Yeah.
I told you that we've got a lot of leads, okay? That wasn't a lie.
I know.
We know a lot more than you think we do, okay?
The dossier technique is a variant of the futility technique, the only difference being that the detectives are far more cryptic and often deceptive about the evidence they have. This will hint at things in a vague manner for the purpose of escalating a suspect's uncertainty.
And while they were having this interview or interrogation, they had the drone at Survey 319. They had already tracked his truck to that site, and they're looking at it. They just really wanted him to confess so they knew exactly where they were instead of possibly all on the ground or whatever have you.
I don't know where they're at.
Yes, you do. Man,
Honestly, I do not know where they are at. If I could have my babies back home right now, I would. I want them back. I want everybody back. That is the God's honest truth.
Although the detectives want to intensify Chris's psychological stress levels, they do not want him to become reactively agitated, as this could lead him to objecting and resisting every step of the way, and the interrogation will never get off the ground. It also significantly increases the chances of him requesting legal counsel and ending the interrogation outright. This elicits the interrogator to change approach and utilize what is known as the ego-up technique, where the detective will build on the self-respect of the suspect through positive reinforcement.
It is very surprising to me, and it warms my heart, that you're the type of dad who can pack a bag in the morning, and you know just what to put in there, and you know just what to put in there as a backup in case they have an accident, okay? You know what the clothes to put in there, you know what they have for breakfast, you know what they have for a snack, and a dinner, and a nighttime snack. You can tell me the book you read to your daughters, okay? I know you love them, but you are here today lying about something else. So we need to talk about that, okay?
I cheated on her.
oh,
And this is very good.
I saw her, took my breath away, and I'd never thought in a million years that could happen.
I know.
I never felt that way about anybody in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not proud of it. She accused me of it. I denied it. I cheated on her, and I feel horrible for it. Like, she was pregnant, and it was. I don't want to.
come on, Chris.
Hurt her. You're doing a good job. This is the Chris that I knew would come out today. This is the Chris who tells the truth because you're a
So
truth
he's
teller.
literally treating like Chris like a dog, like, oh, good boy. Good job for telling us.
I don't think this girl did anything to hurt anybody. When you leave her out of it,
Okay.
get back to your wife and your daughters.
Okay.
Where are they?
That I do not know. That was what I was holding back. Like, I didn't know, like, what I did. I know.
Chris, in the interview today, you weren't asked about infidelity. You were asked about.
I was holding back from last night.
That's
when
not
you
why
talk-
you failed today.
That's not how that works.
Here's the challenge that we have.
I think he thought he was
We knew
going to.
about Nikki, and so we
beat
didn't
it.
need to ask you about her in the polygraph. We just didn't need to because we knew, okay? And so
I wonder if like they went through his phone and if they possibly saw like how do you beat a polygraph, or how would you be able to change the outcome of a polygraph? Like I would be screwed because I have high blood pressure and my thing would be all over the place. So I just, but in his stance, I wouldn't doubt that he like tried to figure out if he could like change his breathing and so forth, to try to pass a polygraph. I just think he possibly tried to beat it or make it fail for like, I don't know.
that's why we didn't ask you, because we already knew the answer, okay? We're very, very worried about your daughters and your wife. I am too. This should have been the happiest time of your marriage, okay? You and Shanann. This should have been the happiest time. She's making a little money. She's making good money. You're making great money. You both have a job. You have beautiful kids. You have a beautiful house. You're in Colorado. Clean air, good people. Okay? And on top of that, you look pretty good now. You're pretty fit. Okay? This should have been a time in your marriage where you guys were happy and thriving and productive. Okay? And I believe that Shanann's the reason none of that happened.
This is called the how and why solution, a technique that allows the suspect to admit a lesser act and blame the victims, while at the same time minimizing the crime.
That's what he's pretty much doing right now in prison.
And motivations of his actions.
I believe that she's a controlling person. Maybe doesn't listen to you as much as she should. I think that she can do whatever she wants and you can't. Okay? I think if you were to go to a restaurant, she would order whatever the hell she wants. And as soon as you order a nice steak, she says, whoa, buddy. That's because you're a good person. And I think that she started on the path to leave the marriage. Okay? It's ironic that we're talking about you.
Which she wasn't, because she was giving him books on how to save your marriage and how to be there for each other and how to build your marriage back up if you're living in the roommate stage. It's just, she was trying. He was not.
Nikki, I think that she was the one who started on that path first. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't have thought about that.
Okay. And the other thing I think is interesting is, even though she is that type of person that's controlling, doesn't listen, does what she wants, is walking away from her kids, here you are defending her. Because to your core, you want to take care of the people you love. Okay. And that's the reason why we want to give you an opportunity today to just help us find them. Okay? Chris, right now your dad's outside. He flew across the country to help you. Okay? You're lying to him. You're lied to everyone you talk to. And they all bought it. Will you please help us find your babies?
I want to find them. I've told you over and over, I want to
The way he says that.
Can you understand that some of this just doesn't make sense to us? How is it possible that a woman and 2 kids are just completely gone off the face of the earth?
I promise you, I have nothing on my hands I did nothing to those kids or her to make them vanish.
As the interrogation goes on,
To make them the way that he denies his his involvement, it's just, and then now he wants to seek salvation. I don't know.
constant and relentless psychological pressure essentially puts Chris at the edge of his ability to function cognitively. It's a slow and methodical process of breaking down his resistance while maintaining a balance of pugnacious and reassuring psychological techniques.
I just find it hard to hear you talk about just having this emotional, conversation with Shanann, and you're bawling and crying together, and you have not shed one tear
Not
in 2
one.
days that you've been here.
Not
one. And help me understand that, because I don't get it. These are your baby girls. And you have not shed one tear over them not being around. Chris, I lose my 4-year-old in the store for 10 seconds and I start to go panic.
Yep.
Panic. I have not seen any of that from you at all. Help me understand that.
I love those girls. I would never do any of this because I haven't shed a tear. You get
no, that's weird. Is that weird?
Don't look into that like I don't love my kids.
I'm not. Or how did she say it? You haven't shed a tear. Like that's what he's literally trying to do. He's like, oh crap, I forgot to do all that.
Tell me, explain to me. You're crying with your wife that you're leaving her.
Yeah.
But you don't cry that your 2 little baby girls.
I'm hoping they're still around somewhere. I'm hoping they're still somewhere.
In the next moments, you will see step 7 of the Reed interrogation technique known as the alternative question, where the suspect is given an alternative and far more morally acceptable choice for what happened.
Chris, did Shanann do something to them?
No, I don't know.
I'm serious.
I have no clue.
No, you would have known because they didn't leave the house. Did Shanann do something to them, and then did you feel like you had to do something to Shanann?
No, they were.
But then we hear him say that.
They were there.
They weren't there. They didn't leave. They vanished.
They were there.
The only way they could have left is in your truck.
Did Shanann do something?
Something happened in the house that you know about. We know that something happened to all 3 of them. But I want to know, did something happen to these baby girls first that you had to take into your own hands and deal with?
You had to clean it up for Shanann.
Chris, you got to tell us. There's something that happened to these baby girls. Look at them.
I know. Before he came in, I was watching videos.
We have no...
See, that's sick that he's watching videos knowing where he put his babies.
No doubt you love these girls with all of your heart. I have no doubt.
He wanted to
But we
murder
make
them.
mistakes.
That's okay.
It's what we do with those mistakes that make us who we are.
Chris, it seems like you're thinking about it right now. What are you thinking about?
She couldn't have.
I feel like you cleaned up for her. I feel like that's the type of guy that you are.
He's thinking.
Chris, this is a weight that's going to be on you for the rest of your life until we resolve it tonight. Unless we can talk about this more tonight, this is going to follow you forever. I promise you, when you start talking to us, you will feel better.
Chris, we're giving you a lifeline right now. You need to take it. You need to reach out and take it. Chris, you took them out of the house with their blankets and their animals. And that's because you cared. That's what a caring dad does. And you either cleaned up after Shanann or you made the mistake. And I mean, I want to believe that maybe Shanann did it and you felt compelled to.
Man, the heat in this room is.
Shanann didn't look bad.
It's getting hot in here.
That's what I want to believe. But I don't know. You're not telling me that, so it makes me think the worst. Like, did you do that to all 3 of them?
I did not do anything to these kids. Not do anything.
What did Shanann do to them? Tell us, Chris.
See, he didn't say anything. He said, I didn't do anything to those kids. He didn't say anything about Shanann.
Chicks are crazy.
Can I talk to my dad or something?
Absolutely.
Come.
Do you want to bring him in here?
Wait. You say father or lawyer? Hold on.
Not do anything.
What did Shanann do to them? Tell us, Chris. Chicks are crazy.
Can I talk to my dad or something?
Absolutely.
Come.
Do you want to bring him in here?
No, I just can't talk to my dad. Like, I flew across the country.
Hey, Chris,
I can't.
how about this?
I thought he said lawyer when I was kind of like looking at up here for a second, and I thought he said lawyer. I was like, wait.
If we brought your dad in needs to tell him what happened.
And you need to realize that your dad is not going to stop loving you no matter what you tell him. You are his child, and he will not stop loving you.
Ooh.
There.
Ever.
And this is not the last chapter in anyone's story. At all. Okay?
Well, it's kind of his. I was gonna say it's kind of his end of his chapter, because what's after the prison chapter? Death. Ban.
Hey, Chris, we're gonna let you have however much time you need, okay?
I wonder how long he was in there by himself.
The last chapter in anyone's story. At all. Okay? Hey, Chris, we're gonna let you have
Almost
however
10
much time you need,
minutes.
okay?
Man, what it's got to feel to be in there.
Tell us how long or... And it's,
In this part right here, right now, I feel was somewhat, a little bit, my opinion, my theory, that it's rehearsed. They talked about it inside the car on the way from the airport to here.
Polygraph. Failed it. There, because there's
too much emotions.
No, that's not how it works. He lied.
Anything else you want to tell me? What's going on? Or what happened or anything? You know anything about
Oh, I guarantee you too, the police officers were like, these are the things that we want to ask, or that we want you to ask him.
we had that conversation that morning.
This was almost 10 minutes before he got in there.
You know, it was emotional and told her about separation and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew about the separation, or wanting.
What happened after that?
I mean, I went downstairs. I don't want to protect her.
What?
I don't want to protect her.
You don't want to protect her?
I don't know what else to say.
He doesn't want to say, I murdered her. It's literally what he doesn't. He's trying to find the words to say, to not say, I murdered Shanann.
She hurt him?
Yeah.
We can hear you, Chris.
And
What now?
I tell her.
You hurt her?
Oh.
What? You smell it?
I didn't hear anything. When I was downstairs, I came back up. They were gone.
And
Talking about separation and everything about
She lost him.
I don't know like what else to say, like I freaked out.
I freaked out.
Those are my kids. I heard like a little commotion upstairs, but I didn't think anything of it.
Mm-hmm. And then you went back upstairs and she was...
There, I could see like she was on top.
What, choking her? Or did she kill him?
They're blue.
Both of them.
Yeah.
She took both of them to death.
I freaked out at the same thing.
I feel bad for him though, for Ronnie, his son, finding this out.
Yeah, I'm like, see what you can do.
Should have thought of that to begin with.
Make the rage.
Oh yeah, they were watching.
Less than 10 seconds after the mention of the word lawyer, the detectives re-enter the room and immediately reinforce Chris with non-verbal empathic communication. They immediately divert Chris's attention from the well-informed advice of his father to their own appreciative reception of his contemporary admittance.
Chris, help us work through this with you, okay? Will you tell us what you told your dad?
She was in that litter. On top of her. Freaked out. I ran in there and got on top of her.
What'd you do?
Blue. That was my babies. Those were my kids.
What happened?
I wasn't looking at her.
Who, Shannon?
Although not the full avowal they are pursuing, Chris has still confessed partly to the crimes, and they now have one foot in the door. He is no longer free to leave. The interrogation now returns to a non-suggestive process, where the detectives will collect further information, where they will not contaminate with excessive or direct input.
I have no idea what's going on. I'm shaking. Both my kids are blue.
Was he?
They're gone.
I don't think he
They're
was.
horrible for what I did. Most of it.
That man was not. He was getting ready to enjoy life with
It's the hard part.
Nicole.
We left details where they're at.
We can help you get him out of the cold.
At that first location I went to that day. I don't know what to do.
I know.
I didn't know what to fucking do. Like none of this made sense. Why would she hit my fucking girls? I'm sorry.
I know.
I know you came in today to do the right thing. Where'd you put him? Get him out there.
In the truck.
Did Shanann fight back at all when you did that?
The rage that I had after seeing that, not much. I didn't know what else to do.
I know, so tell me what you did. I know.
I didn't know what else to do. I was so scared.
I know.
It's like, no, I just did this, and I just did that. What do I do?
Right.
You were in a tough spot. I mean, what can you do, right?
Sometimes your body just kind of takes over and...
What's gonna happen?
We're gonna help them get out of there. Chris, I know they're gone, but they're still your babies, and you're still their dad.
And you don't want them out there.
I don't want them out there.
And you don't want someone else to find them out there. You don't, I promise you. You give us a second so we can kind of get some things arranged. Can you do that?
What the fuck is this?
Well, you kind of deserve it.
This is just fucking horrible. I've always said she was an unstable person, but I never thought that in a million years that could happen. She just lost it. Why did this happen to me? Well, why did this happen to those two little girls?
This ain't gonna be on the news anytime soon, or is it?
No, not tonight. Whereabouts is Shanann and the girls?
Shanann right there.
Is that S for Shanann? Okay. And where are the girls at?
Here.
In these?
Mhm.
So how did you do this out? I'm assuming that's under dirt. How did you take that?
So I show on my truck. That's what I always have.
So it sounds like, I mean, it feels like to me, now we know pretty well how to go get them. Is there anything else we need to know?
Yeah, Nicol
What do
was
you think
involved.
about Chris?
My life is over.
Let my family down. Let my dad down, let my mom, sister, nephew, nieces, friends, co-workers.
God.
Can I ask you another tough question? You just get it all on the table. When you see Shanann choking, strangling Celeste, and you get her off of Celeste, did you think about calling an ambulance? How come?
I see you laying there blue and limp.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've never seen something like that in my life. I mean, she just like laid over, like nothing was, she wasn't moving at all, no gasp of breath. She was totally just blue.
After the baseline information of Chris's version of events is gathered, he is now locked into an alibi and timeline of affairs that forensics will subsequently examine and dissect in ways so they can use it against him. The tone of the interrogation then reverts back from information gathering to a confrontational nature.
So Chris, doing this job for a long time,
I know.
I know a lot about psychology and as far as like what people are thinking. And most parents will never even want to fathom that their kid is dead. Even if their kid's stiff, blue in bed, I mean stiff like been dead all night, they still call an ambulance to see if someone can revive their child. And when the ambulance gets there and they're like,
He got rid of them.
Kid's been dead all night, like there's nothing we can do. The parents are like, why are you not doing something? What are you talking about? So that's what we're used to. So that's why I want you to explain to me like what was going on in your head and
The rage I felt for what she did, it just took over.
I would hate for Shanann to get a bad rap if she didn't have anything to do with it. You know, it's not fair.
I know.
It's not fair.
There is no technical term for this approach, yet it's a clear attempt by the detective to interconnect to the suspect's sense of morality, which is always under the assumption that they have any.
Like enough bad stuff has happened. Like we need to stop the bad stuff from happening. So you want to tell us the truth?
That is the truth.
So you're good with the public knowing that Shanann killed her daughters?
I did not hurt these girls.
Are you okay with the public knowing that Shanann?
Yes, because I did not hurt these girls.
Chris, I'm not sure I believe you.
Are you sure Shanann didn't catch you in Celeste?
No, my God, no.
Don't get mad, but what it looks like is that you found a new life, and the only way to get that new life was to get rid of the old life. And I think that you killed these girls before their mom came home, and then killed Shanann. And that's what we're kind of left, that's what we have to believe, because it just doesn't make sense. I mean, to her point, if I walked in and my kid was decapitated, I'd call an ambulance, right? So
knowing there's no hope.
it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't add up. So either you're this monster who says, I just want this young, hot girlfriend, so I'm going to kill everyone and hope it works out, or something. So I think we're very, very
I'm still getting the good cop, bad cop kind of vibe here.
close to the truth, but not quite there yet. So if you're not that monster,
I'm not a monster.
so what's going to happen when their cause of death comes back to you? For the girls?
It's not going to.
Okay. You sure?
I'm 100% positive it's not going to come back to me.
And what happens when a coroner looks and says, sees your fingerprints on her neck?
It's not going to be my fingerprints.
Okay. What's it going to be?
It's going to be Shanann.
Why take their bodies out of the house and bury them?
I was scared. I didn't know what else to do.
Okay.
Nothing was gonna, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know what to do.
Scared of what?
Scared of what everything was gonna look like. My two babies were gone, and I just did that to my wife. And I was the only one left in the house. What do you expect is gonna happen?
Yeah. It did look bad, right?
This was a nightmare.
Yeah.
That you created.
Okay. yesterday when you were talking, and again, this is before we kind of got to this moment today, you mentioned that we were talking, you said, I don't know where they are, I don't know where they are, and then you said something along the lines of, whatever happened to him, this act of pure evil. What does that mean?
It's the evil that I saw when I walked behind Jeanette and she was on top of CC. And then I felt evil for what I did to Jeanette.
Wow.
Okay. So after we look at their bodies, we're gonna have a lot more questions. Things are gonna be different then, but if you're willing, we'd love to talk to you then too. Now that we know what we know, we're going to, I need to check that you don't have any weapons on you or anything like that. Do you have any weapons on you? Okay. We'll do that. We'll go to the bathroom. I'm not gonna go in the stall with you, but I'm gonna go with you. And then we'll come right back here and we'll make a decision about how the rest of the night goes. All right, so you mind standing up so I can check?
This interrogation was a true testimony of how mental fatigue can restructure an individual's cognitive rationale. Chris maintained his innocence even after the failed polygraph, and if he had kept that stance, he would have walked out of that police department as a free man for at least another night. Yet, after a prolonged state of isolation, anxiety, and fear, coupled with the cerebral influencing tactics of the interrogators, the alleviation of getting out of that situation was in that moment perceived as enough of a luxury to exchange his freedom for it.
Chris, go and stand up for me. I'm going to have you face that wall. Lift up your hands.
Oh man, what that feeling's got to be like. Well, I'm never gonna murder my family, so I'm gonna throw that right there. So, definitely watching it as a whole instead of clips definitely is a huge eye opener. I see the tactics, and I've definitely learned a lot from JCS criminology psychology, or criminal psychology, sorry. But it just makes you think about who's your next door neighbor, or who's your cousin, or who's your spouse's little brother's best friend. It's just, you never know who's the next evil. And just hearing things that these two detectives were trying to get on to Chris and find out the two different Chris's that he was. And I think we need to watch all of this together. I mean, we haven't watched the whole thing together. So I definitely would love to know your guys' thoughts if you would want me to watch his whole interrogation interview. I've only watched, obviously, the screen clips and so forth, but I would definitely love to watch the whole thing. So let me know your thoughts, your opinions, if you want to get anything off your chest about this case, it's in the comments. Sometimes if I don't get to the comments, other people will talk to each other, which is awesome that you guys talk amongst each other in the comments and have built this small community. So again, I thank you guys for being here. Please take care, be safe. As always, keep nerding on, and we will see you guys in the next video. Peace.